It's the Fifth Dimension on Oldies and Info 940 WFAW. Good morning. Rick Thomas with you on your Friday morning. It's 6 degrees above zero, wind chill at about -9 at the moment. Welcome to Morning Magazine. Thanks so much for tuning in. And over the course of the last semester at UW-Whitewater, in their Media Arts and Game Development program, students were hard at work bringing to life concepts for their final motion graphics project, and they created an explanation video that explained the Electoral College. Sounds like a daunting task. And joining me now to talk about the project and the work done by the students at Whitewater are Professor Bill Miller and Media Arts and Game Development student Kyle Grzyb. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, my pleasure. And I was pretty excited when I got the press release about this. It sounds like a fascinating project, and I did take a look at some of the work on YouTube. Very impressive. I also posted Kyle's video on my Facebook page, Rick Thomas. And Bill, if you would first tell us about the course you teach and the courses you teach and about this program.
Yeah, sure. So a lot of the classes I'm teaching in the Media Arts and Game Development program are related to time-based media. So one of the classes I've been teaching for quite a while is the motion graphics class. We have two different levels of that one. I also teach a class that works with digital video, more on the post-production side, doing things like visual effects. More recently teaching some of our capstone classes with the students that are about to graduate. And I also manage the motion capture studio where we, put the markers on people and record their movements, and then we can use that in animation or in game development projects.
I imagine a lot of folks aren't aware that these programs exist at Whitewater. That's
true. One of my colleagues has been, Nick Wong, has been teaching a summer camp for game development. And a lot of times when students are coming to that or when they're touring campus and interested in our program, one of the things that they or their parents say to us is that, I didn't know that I could go to school for this. I didn't know there was a program where I could learn how to make games at college. And there is a difference between really loving to play games and then wanting to learn how to make them. And that's something that we try to sort of steer them into during the course of the program. But games isn't the only thing we do. We also do a lot of other stuff that's related to entertainment industry and things like that.
And can you tell us, Professor Miller, how this Electoral College Explainer video project came about?
Sure. In the introductory motion graphics class for the last several years, I've been incorporating different versions of a project where we sort of do it as a client-designer relationship, and we've been doing it sort of in-house. So that started off a while ago. I was working with some of our faculty in behavioral neuroscience, and we were doing short explainer motion graphic videos about things like action potentials and how your brain works and things like that. After doing that for several semesters, then we try out a different script, and then more recently, I worked with Dr. Lepp from political science, who wrote the script for us and kind of asked me, could we make some explainer videos that I could use in my class, or that we could, use to help explain some of the important, things like Electoral College that people don't really understand but want to know about, and that we could sort of pack into a really short sequence. And so that's where we started off. We've been running this one. We've done it probably for about 2 or 3 years, or probably about 4 semesters. Now, and this last semester, we got some really great work from our students like Kyle, and I think that that's really interesting to me as a teacher, because we started the assignment at the same time that the election was happening last fall. So while we were, hearing on the radio or seeing on the news all these things about Electoral College and, counting votes and things like that, we were also, sort of trying to understand it and explain it ourselves through motion design and through graphics.
I'm speaking with Professor Bill Miller from the College of Arts and Communication, Motion Graphics, Media Arts and Game Development program in particular today, and one of his students, Kyle Grzyb. And Kyle, you are roughly a junior at Whitewater, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. It's my second year here, so my fourth semester, I believe, but I'm at junior standing because of my credits, and I'm a media arts game development major with a general communication minor.
And you said that you're living in Whitewater at the moment, but this particular course was taught remotely last semester, is that right?
You're right. It was through an online course, but Professor Miller put out a bunch of very helpful resources for us along the way in terms of examples for different motion graphic projects, as well as, instructional videos for, how to actually get it done.
And can you tell me about your experience, how this project was introduced to you in the information sent out by Audra Lang from the college? You pointed out, actually, in a quote that Professor Miller showed you many examples of videos using motion graphics. And tell us about how you came to this project.
Sure. So if you hop on YouTube or Facebook or any other social media, you're bound to see a whole lot of projects that utilize a lot of principles of motion graphics or something similar to tell you about an information topic you may not have known anything about, like Professor Miller was saying, like the Electoral College. It's something you're interested in, but there's not a lot of easy ways to get that information quickly and accurately, as well as motion graphics. So you look at these videos and you go on YouTube and you find one, and then it's just a rabbit hole down from there. You just keep on learning more. So I think that motion graphics is a great way to get this information out to people in an engaging way, and this Electoral College project was a great example of that. And I think that with projects like this, it can easily be used to, sort of get the public's attention, and it just is a great way to tell people about things that they may not have known in a really cool way.
You're listening to Morning Magazine on Oldies and Info 940 WFAW. My guests this morning from the UW-Whitewater College of Arts and Communication, Professor Bill Miller, and also speaking with Media Arts and Game Development student Kyle Grzyb. Kyle, you are from southeastern Wisconsin, correct?
Yep.
And what's the name of your town?
Trevor, Wisconsin.
How do you spell that?
Trevor.
Okay, Trevor, Wisconsin, near Burlington.
Yep.
Okay. Now, did all of the students work from the same script, or how did that work?
Right. So, like Professor Miller said, we collaborated with the political science department, and their students came up with a script for information about the Electoral College, and we all got the same script, and we all got the same voiceover. And we used that voiceover, and we had any direction that we could take for the visuals to go along with it. So it was more of a personal direction for every student to work on, the same material and just take it in a direction where they thought would be the most effective.
As I mentioned, I watched I watched your video, Kyle. Very impressive. It looks like something you'd see on CNN or one of the news networks. Very clean, and did a great job of explaining a kind of complicated concept. Professor Miller, I'd be interested to know, were you surprised by the work that the students came up with?
I'm always surprised. One of my favorite parts of being a teacher for assignments like this one is that, we can all start with the same resource, like this voiceover and the script or whatever, and all of the students, as designers or artists, are going to have some different ideas. And so when I'm working with people, it oftentimes feels like instead of just having my project that I'm working on, I have like 18 projects, right? And I'm trying to sort of help steer those projects so that they can, reach the most people, or show the idea the best, or show it in a different, interesting way. And most of it is just based off of the student's idea. So I can show examples, I can give them some resources, but the students are the ones that are really sort of being creative with it. And then, in a way, I'm almost like the creative director. And we have a client, and then the students are performing the work. And this assignment in particular is really modeled after something that they might do outside of school if they were to go into this kind of field. So motion graphics is really related to graphic design. And one of the biggest differences really is that it's still about visual communication, but it's visual communication over time. And so we're able to sort of tell a story or present information, but the design and the visual quality is really what makes it have more impact.
You're listening to Morning Magazine on Oldies 940 WFAW. I'm Rick Thomas. My guests this morning from the UW-Whitewater College of Arts and Communication, Professor Bill Miller, and one of his students in the Media Arts and Game Development program, Kyle Grzyb. Kyle, did you have a particular challenge when you got into this project?
So this script that we got from the political science department was a bit longer just in length than a lot of the other projects that I've worked on previously in motion graphics, to where it was mainly just, in the same sort of field, you can make title cards or little intros that you would see like on news channels. But this script was a full explainer document, so just the fact of length and the amount of effort putting into it as compared to, the shorter projects we've been going in, I'd say is probably the biggest challenge I faced.
Have you received a lot of good feedback from others who have watched your video?
Absolutely, especially along with my other classmates in class when we did it last semester. We had a viewing session for everyone's work, and in addition to everyone else's work, I received a lot of positive comments there as well.
Well, my hat is off to you. I think it's very impressive work, and you should both be very proud. I looked at some of the other videos, and if folks would like to see some of this work, what's the best way for them to go about it?
I believe it's posted on the press release for UW-Whitewater.
Yes. Bill, do you have any suggestions?
And you could also look up the Media Arts and Game Development on the UW-Whitewater website. I think it's just uww.edu/CAC/MAGD. So that's College of Arts and Communication, and then Media Arts and Game Development. And there will be examples of other projects too from other coursework. And then if people are really interested in the spring, at the end of the spring semester, our program hosts an expo where students are sharing projects. So that could be class projects like the one we're talking about, could also be game projects that people work on in their capstone or in a game jam. Sometimes there's edited videos. There's all kinds of work at our expo. And we've been holding it all online. So last spring we started it as an online expo. It's usually in person. People get to play the games, but now everything will be posted online. We did that in the last spring, and then we did a smaller version of it this past winter. And that one is magdexpo.com.
Very good. And as I mentioned, I did post a link to Kyle's video on my Rick Thomas Facebook page this morning. So you could also find a link to Kyle's video there, and as I said, it's very impressive. I think you'll be duly impressed. And my guests this morning on Morning Magazine have been UW-Whitewater Media Arts and Game Development student Kyle Grzyb and Professor Bill Miller. I want to thank you both for joining me on Morning Magazine today.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, Rick.
Yes, you're welcome back anytime. UW-Whitewater motion graphics program at the UW-Whitewater, thanks to Professor Bill Miller and student at Whitewater, Kyle Grzyb. We've got news coming up next, along with your Fox Sports update and your complete weatherology forecast here on Oldies 940 WFAW. It's 9:30.
The nation's unemployment rate fell slightly in January. The Labor Department says the jobless rate fell by 0.4% to 6.3 for the month. The economy added 49,000 jobs in January, slightly fewer than expected. Analysts say the labor market continues to reflect the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic.